こんな感じでいつも撮っています。
Hi guy, ESF here. Now, before we want to do anything else, we're gonna try and take care of our Mundus issue because we're running around with the tower the entire time and we really want to switch to the thief. We came here to the Wood Elf area and quite frankly this area is a maze in general and it's going to be a challenge to find this stone. So all of today is in all likelihood gonna be us getting lost here. Just being transparent up front. Off camera, I obviously ported here, and then I also did a random event that gave us 2 one-handed weapons, which you currently see equipped. They're weapons with pretty unappealing traits and pretty unappealing shape for a roguelike playstyle. But they're so close to my current level that I simply cannot...
Careful! We're headed into troublesome territory.
Cannot avoid taking them.
Set light's a quick study.
Yeah, we went with siphoning strikes for the main weapon style. That is an absolute horror show when it comes to group events.
You do not yet know fear. I shall make you afraid.
Maybe we should get some help?
Dread Grievous Twilight here.
Your strength will be rewarded one day.
Nice little present from Beck, eh?
Yeah, there is nothing that comes even close to these things. It's what they base their entire reward system around. It's completely disproportional for what you have to do, but it comes down to tagging all of these mobs. And like I said, we have to train siphoning, but siphoning is horrible with, or siphoning strikes I should specify, is horrible with,
Nothing wrong with a little opportunistic harvesting.
with these group events, because you tag absolutely jack. I don't know, anything else? Like just Taylor, I guess? Anything that is not what we always take? And we still have 14 skill points left. Even now, we still have 14 skill points left. I really don't know when the moment is gonna come that I'm finally gonna get to use some of these, that I'm gonna slot in some of these things to actual useful matters. Group events, like training-wise, are kind of a dread for us. I mean, we don't want to start going berserk on the two-handed stuff now. We've done more than enough of that. I think I went a little bit overboard in it, trying to keep it symmetrical. I wasn't supposed to go that deep into...
More coming! Help! Let your blood water the earth. Let your souls feed our reaper! for money.
Ogrim? This zone is an absolute hellhole here, as far as mobs go. They're just throwing everything in here.
Damn worm cult. I need to report these soul reapers to the Fighters Guild. Thank you, adventurer.
Got some cleansed water. And some blue antiloma, also for health restore. We might be too late for this one. These Friday nights and you get just these things being spammed like something out of a crazy house.
Get back, you fetcher!
Now, jealousy is the only emotion that these people know. And that people know in general in these kinds of games. So, like, the better you're playing the game, the harder they're gonna hate it. It's just the same as in, what's it called? League of Legends. You know, nobody can stand the guy with the 8 kill streak. And this is just the same. Like, the better you're at tagging, the harder they're gonna start hating. We've seen that now previously in open dungeons and public dungeons a couple of times. People just intentionally try to screw you over or abandon you, purely because you're getting to tag everything. But that doesn't change that that's the only way to go. Like, this is the only way to do it. I'm still not doing it enough, Mordekaiser style.
They serve by choice. They serve the strong. They serve me. The Daedra, the anchors, you destroy them in pain.
Right back to oblivion, or wherever they came from.
First destination is this other way shrine. I think we want to take a northern road and then try to follow that somewhat along the shore, but I could be wrong, honestly. This whole thing is just about almost turning this entire area upside down on foot. It's gonna be very difficult to find. The instructions are collateral at best. Wilding Run here.
I don't want to hurt you, but now I'm going to.
Up this northwestern route for now. A little thunderbug here, beetle scuttle. As good as any scuttle. It's a lot of fall damage here. And some wormwood. Gradual stamina drain, I think.
Can never have enough of that.
So maybe I just try to... This thing is like built like Mists of Pandaria a lot. It looks like you can pass through these green areas, but you kind of have to stick to the road. More than you would know. And we have Sylvanar. And we're already headed in the wrong direction.
The hero of Cold Harbor walks among us.
Post-fitness on a Friday night, and I'm kind of running into a new area looking for trouble because this is almost begging to get lost. And turn this entire video into a clown
Let's
show.
ride.
This area seems to be more popular than it used to be. It's more than justifiable, given the nature. But as wood elves, they really keep us away from here for an extended period of time. And anytime you see a new player or a beginning player around here, it's kind of curious, unusual, and bizarre. Because they really focus the early Wood Elf play around Vocal Guard. There is only one capital for the early stages of the Eldmiri Dominion players. And by extension, that then eventually means all players. So a boss, this entire hircine thing. The aggro radius of these things is just something out of this world. We have to fall upon the least pleasant area in this entire slab of land.
I'm still here. Thanks for asking.
You have this thing here, this sky shard. "20 meters away." In a linear sense, it would have been smarter to directly fight those mobs. This area is particularly unpleasant, and I remember this is one of the things I did previously on a different character, and I remember my entire inventory being full of absolute and complete filth and garbage after fighting these things. It's kind of almost like a troll you area. And again, we probably fell upon the least pleasant part of these general lands. Because this tends to be a very beautiful place, but this brings out the shamanistic filth within the Wood Elves. No experience, and these things respawn like crazy. It's also thematically very dubious. It's a Daedra quest that has to do with hunting.
Nice haul.
And they absolutely cover you in these zombies. I don't know, on my Dragon Knight, I might have killed 500 of these things, and you could never tell by the outcome of it and by the results of it. So, in other words, it's a total waste of time to kill them. In no way is it rewarding or worth it. Fried green tomatoes here, and the totems of hircine. Among those of us to whom Lord Hircine bestowed his most precious gift, the lycanthropy, there are legends that he also sent into the world specific artifacts of his power. They date to a period when men could neither write nor speak nor barely think, but the powers of blood of the beast were yet flowing strong among the selected. The first, a carved skull of the wolf itself, used by those ancient shamans in the blood ceremonies that created our lineage. It is said to grant a great presence to those who prostrate themselves before it, such that these who witness their forms cower in a tremor unknown, in a terror unknown even, except to those who have glimpsed the face of Hircine himself. The second, a thigh bone carved as the skull but from some animal unknown, used as some form of medicinal wand in the more ancient Brotherhood. It was said to grant a kind of heightened awareness, both in sight and in smell, such that the prey could never flee too far from our senses. The third, a simple drum, its mundane appearance meaning it is most likely lost to the mists of long ago time, as our fathers would beat time to summon their brethren from the fields. Excellent grammar, guys, excellent grammar. Congratulations. So too would our forebears in the blood call their allies to them with its pounding. Now, you try to read something like this with word orders that make no sense whatsoever in a font that is barely visible, and yeah. I wonder, honestly, maybe I should try this with some different game, because it's a miracle I'm not screwing up more. Through these totems, we channel and focus our energies of the beast. While werewolves give up the powers of magic known to men, we can tap into a more direct natural energy at times, and through these totems discover the abilities that first stained the world before wrought civilization sullied it. I'd like to do a search for how many times the words wrought civilization have been used in serious texts or historical texts. That's just made up gibberish. That's made up gibberish that doesn't mean anything. And I'm a foreigner and I can barely understand it as it is.
really don't like your odds.
There's really no area quite like this in forcing you to fight all this endless, complete garbage, like destroying your time on these mobs that won't die, endlessly respawn, and they all drop nothing. It's a unique opportunity to waste time. We go south here, as this was obviously not what we were looking for.
Though I've gotten shorter, these stirrups have stretched out.
Four on siphoning strikes. Mist of Pandaria is a perfect comp. If you compare this to, say, Glenumbra, there's very little freedom of movement. And simultaneously, it constantly feels like you're extremely free because of the nature. If you don't stick to the roads, you're gonna make a fool out of yourself every 5 seconds.
Maybe I should have joined the buoyant armigers. Nothing wrong with a little opportunistic harvesting.
It's very difficult to make a video about because I kind of rely on wandering for content. Like, if I were to just actually follow a literal road and go in a straight line, it would be even more unwatchable than it already is. Like, substantially. It would be, in fact, not a production. It's what I rely on, that something happens like every, say, 2 minutes or so, that there's some kind of encounter. If that is completely gone, this game becomes almost impossible to make videos on.
Off with you, Swit!
Game seems to indicate when I'm in this area that we're on a road when we're not on a road. And And that is because just like in Mists of Pandaria, this entire thing is layered. You have like an upper floor and a lower floor, really. And the map keeps displaying the wrong floor, at least to us.
Success guide me. I must find a way to save them.
The Tamrielic Artifacts Part 2. The following are notes gathered over the past centuries on items of unimaginable significance. All have been seen, owned, and lost again and again throughout Tamriel. Some may be myth, others may be a hoax, but regardless, many have lost their lives attempting to find or protect these very coveted items. Iceblade of the Monarch. The Iceblade of the Monarch is truly one of Tamriel's most prized artifacts. Legend has it that the evil archmage Olmian Selmo enchanted the claymore of a great warrior with the soul of a frost monarch, a stronger form of the more common frost Atronach. The warrior, Torngar SC, was to play a part in the assassination of a great king in a far-off land, and become the new leader. The assassination failed and the Archmage was imprisoned. The Ice Blade freezes all who feel its blade. The blade circulates from owner to owner, never settling in one place for long. Lord's Mail, sometimes called the Armor of Morthaus or the Gift of Kinnereth, this is a ancient cuirass of unsurpassable quality. It grants the wearer power to absorb health, resist the effects of spells, and cure oneself of poison when used. It is said that whenever Kinnard deigns the wearer unworthy, the Lord's Mail will be taken away and hidden for the next chosen one. Mace of Molag Bal, also known as the Vampire's Mace. The Mace of Molag Bal drains its victims of magicka and gives it to the bearer. It also has the ability to transfer an enemy's strength to its wielder. Molag Bal has been quite free with this artifact. There are many legends about the mace. It seems to be a favorite for vanquishing wizards. Mask of Clavicus Vile. Ever the vain one, Clavicus Vile made a mask suited to his own personality. The bearer of the mask is more likely to get a positive response from the people of Tamriel. The higher his personality, the larger the bonus. The best known story of the mask tells the tale of Avalea, a noble woman of some renown. As a young girl, she was grossly disfigured by a spiteful servant. Avalea made a dark deal with Clavicus Vile and received the mask in return. Though the mask did not change her look, suddenly she had the respect and admiration of everyone. A year and a day after her marriage to a well-connected baron, Clavicus Vile reclaimed the mask. Although pregnant with his child, Avalea was banished from the baron's household. 21 years old, and one day later, Avalea's daughter claimed her vengeance by slaying the Baron. I'm gonna stop here because this is just me pumping confidence into things that are not worthy of confidence. I mean, this is just, to a lesser extent, an Americanism, and in general, a thing that the game does. Like, it just cannot be honest with itself on a baseline level. The reality is, like, that was like a child would announce it. They started saying, well, this is incredibly important, and then every item that they went through is, like, essentially non-existent or made up. It's non-existent or made up, or they themselves have doubts whether it even exists. So in other words, it's just a bunch of gibberish. You know, don't do that. That's just like a baseline thing in old school German fairy tales or old Scandinavian stories. Like, people won't go like, oh my god, this is an incredibly important figure from a faraway land. And then say 5 lines later, well, we don't actually know. Yeah, we don't actually know. That's like a thing that just isn't done. It just isn't done. It's not seemly. It's not well behaved as a producer. It's not good behavior as somebody who's trying to produce something for your reader or your audience.
Good eye. I never would have spotted that.
And so I'm absolutely down to the bitter end here with absorbing the lore and whatever is left of it. But it's precisely because of that that I'm going to avoid complete gibberish, because if I start getting into complete gibberish, we're never going to get to the actual substance. Still light. Drops for Miri could not have been worse. They're either always the wrong armor style. It's 0 pieces of medium armor, 0 bows. Everything we get is like for heavy tanks. And if we ever get an armor piece, which we almost never do, but if we ever get one, it's light. We finally see the thief here. Got some bread for cooking. Have a heavy sack. Maybe you have a heavy sack.
Betcha. I only ever seem to find musty grain and spuds.
Some honey for cooking. I need a lot of ingredients. I have no idea what that was again. Like, I have no idea why Leech just didn't come out. I gotta say, like, I had a bad feeling about starting to train siphoning strikes, and it's absolutely become a reality every step of the way so far. Maybe I should do it in reverse, but I can't. I gotta train it up first. Good, and as you can clearly tell here, there's a bundle of people who want the same thing. We've now had like 4 guys getting this sign in the last minute or so. That's telling you a ton. This is what we wanted, this is what we needed, we got it, and we can continue with the rest of our playthrough now in a relaxed fashion, without ever having to worry about the bonus. With that, we're gonna take a little bit of a break here now, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.